Welcome back. I'm Julian at Just Inspired, and it's just another day in the workshop. It's pretty early for me. Haven't had my coffee yet, so I just need to start looking at a couple of things before the day gets too long. I'm going to put some stuff away. This is my tester box. I've got all sorts of gadgets in here. So first off, this one is a bit urgent. I need to look at this. It has been in before. As far as I remember, he's running Windows 10, and he's got a microscopic CPU with a microscopic fan, and I think he still has a hard drive, no SSD. So I think it has stopped working, or something has happened and it won't start up. So rather than trying to fix this one again, he wants to see if we can get it all transferred onto another system. So I'm just going to see what it's doing. This one doesn't have a power supply built in, it's just got a Lenovo power supply with the square or the rectangular plug. Where's that going? That goes in there. Does it start? Where's the power switch? Oh, it's there. It starts. The drive is spinning up. Not sure if we're going to get anything on the screen. Well, I'm getting nothing on the screen. It's black. So unplug that. This is all in bits. I think it's had a drop at some point. Well, it's not like we're going to be reusing it. It is utter trash anyway. It is a very crappy processor. That's the optical drive. This was obviously in a very budget PC. So I'm taking the battery off the motherboard. What is this? Is this worth anything? 8 gigs of DDR4, that's good. Let me just quickly check that battery. Now I know that I could just take the drive off and transfer stuff across, but I would much rather see it working in situ, because there's certain things that I can back up while his machine is up and running better than I can try and transfer it. We didn't put our meter on. What's the point of having this stuff if you're not going to use it, Julian? Why? That's better. Right. Measuring the battery. Yeah, that's not good. You can see the 2.6 volts. That is too low. If it drops below 3, I normally change it. I'm running out of batteries. Right, new battery in there. I'm sure it's fine, but let's check it to make sure. I'm going to put my black probe on a ground point, which is the screw for the motherboard, and put the red probe on the top. Yeah, that's 3.2 volts. Lovely. Okay, now I've done that, let's try that again. HDMI, power. Where's the switch? Oh, I didn't put any RAM in it. Bloody hell. That's not going to help, is it? I tell you, I need my coffee. There we go. Right, I wanted to reseat the RAM, so that's why I took it out. Okay. I don't think there's a speaker on this motherboard, otherwise we'd probably get some beeps, some error codes. You gonna do something? Is you dead? I think he was dead. Proper dead. Yeah, I got nothing. The other thing I can try is the VGA port. A whole lot of nothing. Nope. Oh, there is a speaker on there. So it should make a noise if I take the RAM out. No, it's brain dead. It is well and truly gone. A moment of silence for the poor Lenovo computer. Right, let's get the drive out. We've got my Hikoki. I love this. Love. It's so good. Tighten up the clutch. There we go. Right, are we screwed on the other side? Yes. 1 terabyte Western Digital. The other thing I recommend are these Milwaukee Bits. They're absolutely brilliant. I like some of the Milwaukee stuff. My utility knife is Milwaukee as well. Not a common brand in the UK, but yeah, I used to use Milwaukee drills and stuff a lot when I was installing alarm systems in the Caribbean back in the day. This is my open frame testing and data recovery, cloning, that sort of thing. PC. Just to remind me that F11 is the key to press to get into the boot menu. Can you see the price on that stick of DDR4? That's an 8 gig stick of DDR4, and yeah, I bought that just before the RAM prices exploded. How much is an 8 gig stick now? Like the cost of a car or something. Oh yeah, I must remember to rescue my battery from that dead computer. So this is one of my favorite tools. It is an IODD ST400, and it will emulate a CD drive, which is good because I do quite a lot of retro computers, which some of them didn't like to boot off of USB sticks, but they'll boot happily off the same disk. They'll boot it happily off of a CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drive. So I got this, and it emulates a CD-ROM drive, and yeah, it works absolutely brilliant. There's nothing that won't boot off of this. I know that guys love their Ventoy and all the rest of it, but even that I've had issues with sometimes. So when it comes to the old stuff, this is compatible with everything. And I normally just keep it in the case with the plugged in. And there's an old SATA SSD in it. You can get these smaller now with the NVMe drives in them. Oh well, a place to put an NVMe drive. Right, we do the red one for the source. Just Inspired, can I help you? Hello, how you doing? Oh, right. Is the computer on at the moment? Okay. Get it switched on and get the stick ready, and give me a call back. I'll remote into the computer and see if I can see what the problem is. Alright, cheers then. Alright, take care, bye. Right, let's pop it on top of there. If you do a lot of this kind of work, I recommend getting something like this. It's small, you've got a built-in touchpad, and it's wireless. Highly recommend it because I can plop it down anywhere. I've got a Logitech unified receiver, and with one of those you can add more than one device. So I've basically got this plus my trackball on one USB receiver, and I've got this on just a little splitter, and there's two reasons for that. I don't lose a USB port if I plug this in, especially on a laptop that doesn't have many ports, so I've still got a port to plug into. And also, if I was just trying to plug this in, I would have lost it already, because there's no way I would have remembered that tiny little thing in somebody's computer. By now I would have lost it. So yeah, this makes sure I don't lose it, and also gives me an extra port. Recommended. Right, plug that in. Everybody good, everybody nice. Switch it on. That's better. And F11. So this is what the IODD device looks like. You've got various ISOs I've got on there. You can scroll down. Yeah, it works really well, and especially on machines that don't like booting off of USB sticks. Right, so let's go back to that. Right, we want to boot off the virtual CD-ROM. Right, copy and migration, migrate OS. So I'm going to copy that to the empty disk. That's all fine. Apply. Let that finish doing its due. Right, I've rescued my battery. Cloning is all done, so I can let him know what the options are. I just wanted to make sure his drive was okay, his data was okay. and then I can give him a quote. Right, let me just put a label on that. Right, I'll stick a label on there so I know who it belongs to. Right, let me get this bit out.
Later.
Right, it's almost midnight, so if I'm a bit croaky, please forgive me. The gentleman who owns this idea center that I had a look at earlier that doesn't have any display, it doesn't support Windows 11, and it's just a piece of crap machine to begin with. So he's decided to go with one of my Dell Optiplex refurb computers. I've sold loads of these over the years. They are very reliable machines. Usually get them in A-grade condition from people who buy them from businesses that are closing down or businesses that are just refreshing their IT budget and stuff like that. So what I normally do is I get these, I clean them thoroughly, put a brand new drive in there and give it 16 gigs of RAM or 8 depending on their needs. These are the 5060 series, and I've also got some 5070s. Unlike the 3060 series, the 5060 has 4 slots for the RAM, so I can put four 4 gig sticks in there, and it's not going to cost a lot of money to get him up to 16 gigs. Before I wouldn't even think twice, I'll just throw 16 gigs at it, but now you kind of have to think about what you're doing. So I've cloned the drive that he had in the old machine onto a spare drive, which is this one, and I'm going to try and get this booted up. Once that's booted up, I can then add the command to make Windows boot from an NVMe drive. Then I will clone it to an NVMe drive, and once that's all up and running, I can then upgrade to Windows 11. I know people are going to say, you should just do a fresh install and all the rest of it. Trust me, I know. However, there are some cases where if you can upgrade it, and Windows is not too bad nowadays. I think before upgrades were kind of shit. Windows is not that bad at the moment. And if you can upgrade it from Windows 10 whilst leaving all of his settings, his passwords, his software that he's got registered and all the rest of it on there, it's just going to make life so much easier. Sometimes it bites me in the ass and then I have to, go back and just do it from scratch. But for the most part, the amount of time I spend not having to start from scratch and doing all these programs and everything else, it makes sense for the one or two that you get that won't allow me to do it, and they just want to be a pain in the ass. Anyway, let's carry on with this. Will it boot? That would be nice. Yeah, man. Oh, hey. Alright, I've got to find his password while that's booting. Man, I forgot how slow the spinning drives can be. Oh, we haven't seized up completely, we still have a mouse cursor. Hello? Is there anybody in this dark room? Oh, I'm waiting. Since you asked so nicely. It's not like we have a fucking choice, does it, really? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of please waiting. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the time, man. Yeah, it's the train. I recognize the desktop picture. I'm gonna have to blur that, I suppose. See if he still has the same password. New. Okay, I'll have to get the password tomorrow. Ah, bollocks. Anyway, I was hoping to get the clone done tonight. Ah, it's bedtime. It's late. I need to sleep. There's just not enough hours in the day. Right, till tomorrow then. Right, we're back in the morning and I have the password, so I now have control of the computer. I am logged in. Right, so we're into the computer and we are going to go to command prompt, run as Prime Minister, and we are going to type in the commands scconfig store nvme start equals space boot. Right, so that should allow me to clone it to an NVMe and boot off of the NVMe now. Basically, we've told Windows that we're going to load the NVMe drivers as well. So let's shut that down. We are shut down. Right, let's put in his SSD. Right, let's go to the virtual CD-ROM. Right, let's migrate from that drive to the SSD. And apply that. Let that run and we'll come back to it. Right, so the clone has finished, so I'm going to shut this down and see if it will boot from the new NVMe drive. Right, I've disconnected everything except the NVMe drive. See if that will boot up. Cammy, you can do it. Yes. Way. Nice. Right, at this point I will do a bit of housekeeping in Windows and run some DISM commands and SFC, check disk, that sort of thing. I will reset Windows Update, clear that out, and then see about upgrading it to Windows 11. So that should be it for now. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.